Spider-Man Far From Home is the 9th feature film to follow the web-slinger from Queens. We should recall right back to 2002 when Tobey Maguire was the first Peter Parker we ever got on the big screen. That began us off with Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3. Inside a couple of years, Andrew Garfield took over for a couple of outings in The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2, at which point people probably we expected to begin once again. That is when Peter hit the MCU, and Tom Holland entered the fray. With Spider-Man, Homecoming and now Far From Home, in addition to group outings in Captain America, Civil War, Avengers, Infinity War, and Avengers, Endgame, Holland has now showed up as Spidey more than some other actor. In addition to what the MCU is doing, Sony held the rights for their own Spider-Man world, which incorporates the previous winter's arrival of the Academy Award-winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. In this way, with those movies, we've likewise had a decent bunch of actors playing Spider-Man, as well. Everyone's brought something somewhat extraordinary to the role, and everyone has various characteristics that make their interpretation of the Saint one of a kind. In any case, that doesn't mean there can't be a top pick. Let's take a look at top 6 actors who have played Spider-Man. Number 6. Andrew Garfield, The Amazing Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Andrew Garfield is an extraordinary actor. Have you seen The Social Network? He just has this California atmosphere that falls off of him consistently, and it's attractive on screen. In any case, that equivalent quality, from numerous points of view, is the thing that bound him as Peter Parker in the 2 Amazing Spider-Man sections. Peter is supposed to be a nerd, a nervous dork, and Garfield was just too cool. They had a go at tossing a couple of glasses on him, but he still just came off like someone who would get invited to something in the range of 4 to 6 parties each day before the bell would ring. Number 5. Chris Pine, Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse is a precarious one to classify for the purposes of this list. The whole reason of the film is that there are different individuals, and one creature, in the multiverse holding down the Spider-Man mantle. We needed to top it someplace, so we just incorporated the film's principal character, and its 2 version of the first Spider-Man. Having clarified all that, Chris Pine plays the versions of Spider-Man that existed in Sam Raimi's universe. He's only in the movie briefly, in the first place, yet we see him do all the great things from the occasions of Spider-Man, a specific topsy-turvy kiss, Spider-Man 2, the train rescue, and Spider-Man 3, dancing through the street. Pine's vocal appearances, really extraordinary. He sells the sincere idea of the character, however just seems like somebody who truly adores his life and everything that he does. Pine's short appearance is acceptable to such an extent, that it truly makes you imagine that maybe, just maybe, he would have made an incredible live-action Spidey eventually, at some point, as if Captain Kirk in Star Trek and Steve Trevor in Wonder Woman weren't enough already. Number 4. Jake Johnson, Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse. Pine's Peter Parker makes for a glaring difference to Jake Johnson's Peter Parker. Where Pine is basically Spider-Man Prime, he does everything right. Johnson's Spidey is progressively similar to Chris Hemsworth in Avengers, Endgame. Things have turned out badly, Mary Jane left him, and he got moved to an alternate universe. Pine's Spider-Man is dead, yet Johnson's a lazy, depressed, and detached version of Peter Parker is forgotten about to figure what even occurred. Johnson's not a traditional action movie actor, so his vocal casting here is a pretty inspired choice. Most popular for his role in New Girl, he has some appeal to his voice, however it's in an adorable failure way, contrasted with Pine's certain hero. Number 3. Shamik Moore, Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse. Credit to Shamik Moore, the last of the Spider-Verse part of this countdown, for being the just one to make the ranking playing a character not named Peter Parker. Moore played Spider-Verse's main character, the fan most loved comics character Miles Morales. As a teen, Moore's vocal performance catches a ton of a similar stuff that Tom Holland's MCU performance does. What he captures truly well is the feeling of youthful innocence. He's a teenager who simply needs to make the best decision for his loved ones, mishandling his way through life, out of nowhere with some new powers, and another secret. He cherishes his Air Jordans, Nike adapted into a real-life limited sneaker. He got a favorite song, and he's really just an enjoyable character to watch in what has to be one of, if not the best Spider-Man movies to date. Number 2. Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3. Tobey was the absolute first Spider-Man in an entire generation ever knew. He wasn't only an actor playing Peter Parker, he was Peter Parker. He was the first Spider-Man, and for some time, it appeared despite the fact that there was another person filling the role, he was continually going to be the most genuine adaptation of the character. In Sam Raimi's trilogy of movies, Tobey consistently brings it, from the cinematic highs of the second film to the campy moments of the third one. He plays the character in a really sincere manner, and it works. He's simply low-key enough for us to accept. Number 1. Tom Holland, 5 appearances in the MCU. There would not have been an approach to top Tobey's interpretation of Peter Parker for how Sam Raimi's Sony films played him. So when the Marvel Cinematic Universe obtained the rights to bring Spider-Man into their world, the main way they could go was to make Spidey drastically unique. That is the reason they cast Tom Holland in the role, and the rest is history. Holland's interpretation of Spidey is starkly different in relation to both Maguire and Garfield. A main difference: he's younger. Holland's childhood brings a level of innocence and irreverence to the portrayal that truly causes his take of the character to feel so new and fresh. The vitality that Holland brings to the role is extremely special. Tobey's Spider-Man, a more established and more mature take on the character, was like the Spider-Man animated series. Tom Holland's youth-quick mind and consistent jokes are in line with the comics in a major way. And keeping in mind that Holland is quite often sparkling on the screen with a rarely matched power, it's the dramatic moments that truly make him exceptional. With effectively 5 MCU appearances, he has a lot of features as of now for the real. However, it's a moment in Infinity War that blew everybody's mind, and that cemented the character on this countdown. Thanks for watching Celebrity Holic. Make sure to subscribe and press the bell icon for more celebrity related videos. Also like this video for good luck.